Hey, my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I like to start off every day with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. And of course, I think of my favorite quote of the century by Oscar Wilde, which says, "Life is too important to be taken seriously, so lighten up, folks." So today's topic is, drumroll please, Storytime, the Life of an Actor, Part 1. Okay, but before I even do that, just a quick little update talking about not taking life too seriously. The last 2.5 weeks since I did my last video have been kind of a whirlwind. I went from like solid 6 days of work on a film set, putting in like 15-hour days, sleeping like 3, 4 hours. And then unfortunately, all of last week, I was in the Bronx because my poor Papa Poo ended up back in the hospital. But you know what? That's where like life only throws you away what it knows you can handle. So it's all a bit overwhelming and stressful, but it's what's supposed to happen. So it's all good. And I'll keep you guys updated. But for now, everything is what it's supposed to be. So if you remember my last video when I did my review, I said that for this year I was going to do the 3 parts: acting, sex worker world, and then like drag empress world. So we're starting off with the acting world. So this is going to be one of 8 episodes coming up every other Friday, starting at 10 a.m. So I figured this one, let me just give like a little like overview, as to like why I even do what I do. So when I was a poor little girl in the Bronx, you know, I guess it's always been in my blood because both my parents were in show business back in Ecuador. I mean, they were both singers. My mother played the piano. She studied ballet. So my siblings and I, when we were like little, I guess I was like 5, we did study tap dancing for like probably a year. And then my mother always taught us piano. But apart from that, then like, in grammar school, you were like in the glee club, same thing in junior high school. But then it was really in high school where like I joined the choir and I was part of senior chorus. And that part of my life is still wonderful because, we periodically get together, have little reunions. We actually have one coming up at the end of March. So I still look forward to that because all of my high school friends that are still in my world, from doing the musical theater shows and doing singing in the choir and drama classes and all of that, they're still very much in my life. So like high school was all about that too, and that's why high school for me was so wonderful, although the fact I was like gay and in the Bronx and wasn't the easiest thing. Uh, it was it was wonderful, and I wouldn't trade it in for any other thing. Then, in addition to that, I started doing community theater. There were 2 groups: TNCP, Frogs Neck Community Players, and CSCP, Center Stage Community Players, and uh, I did it for a few years, all of their musicals year after year: Fiddler on the Roof, West Side Story, Pajama Game, uh, Guys and Dolls, a bunch of, apart from the ones that I was doing in school. So, and then in college, I graduated from Hunter College in '87, and I was a dance major. So I guess like, performing was always in me, and I've just always did it. Now it's funny because I always like predominantly considered myself a dancer than anything else. I mean, and maybe that was always my favorite thing of the 3. I did it all, but you always gravitate towards one, I think, than the other. At least I did. So, and that was my major in college. But then of course, like I started doing drag when I graduated college, and started doing massage and all of that. And I'm gonna hit on that in the next episode. But all of those things in turn then got me to a place where I was then able to land a part, which then got me into Screen Actors Guild, SAG-AFTRA, and that's been like just about 30 years ago. That was 1993. Time flies when you're having vodka, right? So, and then here we are now. So, but I guess this first episode, I wanted it to be a little shorter and sweeter and just kind of give my history of like how I even got to the point of being a proud member of Screen Actors Guild. And although like I always wanted to get my equity card, which I never did, but that was the dancer in me. And coming from a musical theater background, the stage was my main love. But then, I sort of stumbled upon this world and I'm like, oh, okay, you can make money that way too. And listen, so long as I'm performing, whether it's in front of a camera, on stage, that's all I care about. And I think that's why ultimately even having this YouTube channel means the world to me, because every other week, at least this in itself, it's not a performance per se, but I'm in front of the camera and I get to talk my shit, as it were. And you can't shut me up anyway. So at least doing these videos, it's an opportunity that like no one can shut me up, because unless someone's yelling at the other end while you're watching this, I can't hear you anyway. So there you have it. So anyway, I am going to keep this one short and simple, but I kind of just wanted to give my roots. And then now the following 7 episodes, each one will be very specific, like a specific part of this acting world of mine. So, but I think a lot of us who do this have wanted to do it all along. I don't know too many people who just like one day decide, oh, I'm going to be an actor. In my opinion, I was going to say humble opinion, and someone the other day pointed that out to me. That's such a figure of speech. And I said, in my humble opinion, and she was like, bitch, there ain't nothing humble about you. And I was like, oh. So, but in my opinion, I kind of feel like people who are in this industry, yeah, it's you. It's always you've always wanted to be. I think it chooses you. I don't think you choose it. I don't think with other professions probably you could choose to be a doctor or whatever, but something like an actor or any kind of performance art, it's in you, and you feel like you really have no choice but to do it. So all right, guys, leave your comments. I'm curious, how many of you, like, how long have you been doing it? How did you get your start? Did you always know you wanted to do this? Let's have a little dialogue. And as always, I love that you guys are here with me. This is the most therapeutic thing on top of everything else, especially with the last particular this past week with everything going on. Uh, Life throws you lemons, and I've always said when life throws you lemons, add vodka, right? I don't even drink anymore, but it makes sense. Okay, I will see you guys soon. Thanks so much for being here. I love you guys, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.